passionate about Cleveland sports.
He's going in! Touchdown!
Browns, Indians, Cavs, the Big Ten, and more.
Cleveland is a city of champions once again!
Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and beyond.
A swing and a drive! To deep right!
Here are your hosts, Andy Billman and Jarid Watson.
And we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter tonight. Hello and welcome, Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and beyond. He's Andy Billman. I'm Jarid Watson, and this podcast is brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Happy Monday, everybody. There is such a thing. The Indians sweep the Tigers. Oh, man, what a great way to show up over the weekend. Make that now 20 in a row over the Motor City Kitties, with Bieber being Bieber, of course. Reyes hitting bombs. Oh, my good Lord. Like some of the longest home runs I've seen in a long time. Lindor getting hot on Sunday. But again, the narrative for a Tribe, it's dominated right now by the Clevinger and Plesac fiasco, with a story today by Jeff Passan on Passan. I don't read Jeff, so I apologize. I that's my bad,
right.
Andy. On what happened in a closed-door meeting on Friday in Detroit. Also, what's next for Plesac and Clevinger, we'll discuss. The Browns had their first padded practice today. Sound the practice horns, hooray? No, because what happened? Well, we've got a little issue with Nick Chubb that we'll get into. Though the rookie lineman in the first rotation, that's happening right now because J.C. Tretter had his surgery. Myles Garrett is out because of his hammy injury as well. So, again, and then we brought up the thing that's going to be the big problem right now for them is Nick Chubb being evaluated for a concussion, a complete bummer. Cue the Monday Night Bugle. There's a bugle, Andy, a Monday Night Bugle. Happy fucking Monday indeed. Thank you. Let's pour some wine or this knockoff White Claw that I have. Vista Bay. Thanks, Ma. I think you got it at like Aldi's.
Aldi's is great. You know me, I love a good Aldi's. God, your mom and I are so alike.
And let's talk about the latest with Plesac and Clevinger. Do we have to?
Yes. For those of you who've never been to Aldi's, you have to put a quarter in to get a cart. That's how great that grocery store is. I love Aldi's. It is one of my favorite. I'm not dying. I love Aldi's. Love their prices, and their food is actually really good.
Yeah, well, no, the thing is, my mom yells at me all the time. She's like, have you been in there lately?
Oh, it's great. I'm not joking. I love Aldi's.
I really
do.
You. No, I get
I
it.
Really
they got
do.
a lot of. They've changed a lot of stuff where they've got a lot of organic produce, and they've got a lot of like grain-free stuff or gluten-free stuff that I know my wife loves. So, hey, hats off to Aldi's. Cool deal. Much better reputation at Aldi's than Clevinger's making for himself. Which, by the way, let me start with this, Andy, because I made a video over the weekend regarding this issue, regarding Plesac, and I really went at him hard. I went at him hard like I would have went at one of my troops for being a complete fucking idiot, right? There's love there. There is love there if this young man chooses to learn from his mistakes. My issue was the lack of responsibility and the blaming the media. If you haven't seen the video, it'll make you want to rip your hair out because, of course, the media, whoever that is, whoever he's talking about, the media, I threw a bit of a fit over that. America's scapegoat, as I said. But Plesac, he really made a big mistake, I think, making those videos. And Clevinger, at the end of the day, Andy, I probably need to go in harder on him. That's where I'm at right now. Clevinger is a sneaky fucking liar. That's where I stand with him right now until someone proves me wrong.
Cleveland Indians.
Clevinger, good morning, Monday afternoon, and now Monday evening. Yes, I just did the Truman Show. I want to talk in a low tone to help everybody feel a lot better here on this podcast. It was a wonderful weekend of baseball. This is like I feel like we're doing a redo show. Wonderful weekend, only turned into hard news on Monday. Was not a good day for news for Cleveland fans. And myself, obviously being a huge one, it was rough, but here we go. To what Jared's alluding to with Clevinger and Plesac. Clevinger definitely comes off here because of the situation where it was reported that he was defending Plesac in the meeting on Sunday in Chicago. Goes home with the team, only to find out later that he was going out with Plesac. It comes off as bad, wrong, and it comes up as a cover-up. If you feel any way differently, I don't know how else you can say it. It's not, again, we're not going into different type of theories and, whatever else and supposeds. This is just the facts. These are just the facts. So Clevinger comes off as very mysterious. Plesac's a young athlete kid. That video, we've all seen it. I've been in sports forever. Plesac made look, this is Captain Obvious. It's Captain fucking Obvious. Bad video, didn't come off well. You're driving in your car, which is bizarre, while you're making the video, so you don't seem safe. You just got put in quarantine, but you're out of quarantine in your house. You're driving around. It's all bad. But
I too was a dumbass 20-something.
But again, Plesac, I know in my heart of hearts, even though I've never met him, Plesac's a good kid. Right. He's having a bad couple weeks, and he doesn't come off well. All that to be said, that's Plesac. I would keep him right here. I would not trade him. Now,
correct.
Clevinger. I mentioned in the last podcast, I'm not getting off on this. And that's why I love to hear that they had a team meeting on Friday, because that's what needed to happen here. Tuesday and Wednesday was such a shit show. Yes, the Cubs are good. Yes, that lineup is good. Great to see Kipnis tip the cap. Everything else fucking blew. That was a terrible weekend. Yep. Terrible 2-game series on Tuesday and Wednesday. And it carried over from what happened on the way back from Chicago to Cleveland. It carried on the field. The Tribe didn't look in those games. It was not competitive. Francona, who is never this way, didn't look comfortable in the dugout. It just didn't come off as a comfortable vibe at all, that whole 2-game series.
And now we know why.
And now we know why, because of what happened. And then Plesac's thing. Okay, quickly on Clevinger, I want to give a scope, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, though.
Yeah.
Clevinger, in my opinion, is on, and I've heard Tom Withers tweet this out, so I would use the same quote. He's on thin ice. Clevinger, it's getting very hard for me to see him here post-2021. Could he be here the rest of the year? Yes. The market's weird. The team could have said, hey, we want to keep him around. We want to see what he can do. They want to give him another shot. Believe me, I think that's up to the team right now. Now, going beyond next year is a different story. But right now, I do think it's a team decision, because this is such a weird year with the pandemic. I think they need to have a say in what goes on. I just do. I would never feel that way in another season. This year, I don't. I feel like the team needs to have a say. It's so much about team right now. Yeah. So I think Clevinger needs to be said that. I don't think he's come off well in this at all. He had a statement. We'll get to that in a second. But Clevinger, it just feels wrong. I'm not surprised we haven't heard from him. Clevinger needs to be hidden. Like, he said a statement and he had to go away, and he's done that. Now, to the good news, in my opinion, because I do think there's good news. Yes, it's the Tigers, and the Indians own the Tigers, but people need to be reminded about how great it is to have Terry Francona as your manager. He is the right leadership. He led a team nicknamed the Misfits in 2004 and won the World Series. He has been through situations like this. It isn't like this is his first rodeo. So he knows how to handle this. I know you don't want to put everything into one series. The Indians needed that sweep. The Indians needed something like that where they really coming off well. Because you know why?
And they needed it the way that they did it.
Exactly.
They needed big offense on Sunday to help out Plutko a little bit because of the position that they're even in right now.
Yep.
Because frickin' Frack didn't know how to follow the rules.
Correct.
So that weekend made me feel a hell of a lot more comfortable with the situation, but you still cannot deny that where we're at now with Clevinger is somewhere that we were hoping we wouldn't go to once Bauer was gone.
We're back.
Once Bauer was gone, Clevinger would no longer be that, he was the tag along in all of the Bauer fiasco issues, right? He was his buddy. They egged each other on a little bit, whatever it was. You know that relationship wasn't doing the rest of the team any good. At least that's how I felt. Then you have Clevinger, who's in a position where he could have come out and dominated and worked his ass off and found his way in the number one spot. Something told us both, Andy, that was not going to happen, and then it would be Bieber. That tells me, the more that I think about it, Clevinger's got his issues there too. He's got that jerky motion. We worry about the injuries, so we can combine not only his development that we would hope he would take to the next level, that is not going to seemingly get there right now, on top of the fact that he fucking lied to his team.
And the team
lied.
And the team is clearly pissed off.
Clearly
There are
players,
off.
there are veterans on that team that do not want to be anywhere near him right now. Period. There are players on that team who said, if he is here, I am sitting out.
So let's go to the Jeff Passan article. That player that he's referencing is Alvar Perez. In the article, if you haven't read it yet, please check it out, ESPN.com. If you're a Cleveland fan, an Indians fan, a fan of baseball, you need to read that article. So it really was a good insider view of what happened in that locker room on Friday afternoon going into a series against the Motor City Kitties. Alvar Perez said he would leave if Clevinger and Plesac returned to the roster, according to the Passan article, with familiar things. The most critical issue, sources said, many sources to Passan, was the breach of trust. To what my partner just said. This is going on to trust. This is a much bigger thing now. In 2020, this is the most layered thing you could ever deal with. And I'm going to get into why right now. This is why it's not that simple. You cut bait with Clevinger, you cut bait with Plesac, and you move on. Now, I would not cut bait with Plesac. Right. And for multiple reasons. One, he's young. Two, he did the video. His actions speak louder. Plesac got caught. He went home. Boom, he's done. Hey, whatever happened afterwards is a hearsay. Clevenger's action says, I'm going to try to cover up. I'm going to try to talk about Plesac being what Plesac did. I'm going to defend Plesac. And then I'm going to go ride in a plane. And then I'm going to say nothing and get excused out of the team on Monday afternoon. Clevinger, who has more years, who has more experience, needs to understand, and I hope he does now, the game is bigger and the team is bigger than you and Zach Plesac. And I want Clevinger to understand the one thing that could be good out of this is he has a come to Jesus moment, right, where he finally wakes up and says, holy crap, maybe it's me. He's had a bunch of rumors in previous years about a lot of things going on in his personal life. I won't get into that because we don't know what's true and what's not. But Clevenger's had a lot of incidents in the last 2 years that haven't gone smoothly. He's gone into Twitter fights. He's gone to social media fights. You want to like Clevinger because he is tough. He is athletic. He is good on the mound. But when you hear things like this that aren't coming from people like Jared and myself and other journalists or reporters or talk show hosts, these are Plutkos. Yeah. These are Franconas. These are Lindors.
Not the media, Andy.
Correct. Oh, yeah. Look, Plesac's video was lost. You can't defend it. It is what it is. He's a 22-year-old kid.
Well,
there's nothing to analyze that.
Clevinger wasn't in his ear with some of that shit too.
Oh, and by the way, it clearly was.
Maybe I'm going a little far on that, but come on now. Listen, this is not a team. Tito Francona is not a guy who I would consider someone who likes to put up with low character individuals. And you know I say this all the time, Andy. Believe someone when they show you who they are. Clevinger has shown us time and time again who he is. He has. Yep. Whether it's the stuff that you referenced earlier, the personal issues, which God knows that's very difficult stuff. But at the same time, who are you associating with? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are your actions doing, your choices? What are those things getting you into? What does it make you look like? You know, you can have a reputation as a good ball player, and you can also have a reputation as a real asshole and someone that you can't trust. And that's where Clev's at right now. And I never liked playing or being around. I cut people like that out of my life quicker than anything. That's the one thing I cannot deal with is the dishonesty. And that's what he did. And it doesn't, I don't blame the rest of the team. And, you know, we've talked to, friend of show, we talked to Nick Francona, Terry's son, and you know that he's worried about his dad being out there. And he's not as nice as Tito has been, obviously. But those are real concerns. These are family. These are families. These are individuals that are risking things, and not just for themselves, but the people around them and their families. And you're going to be dishonest and sneak and go and do this for what? For what? What do you think is going to happen? Did you think you weren't going to get caught?
Especially when it comes out that when MLB says in a statement weeks before, there's going to be now security guards at every hotel to watch every movement. It's not a surprise. This is, again, to say fuck it, and all that's bad anyways. But then to try to cover it up, it's like, cover up what? You were never going to be able to cover that up. Poor decisions. Now, to what happened in this article, a lot. It sounds like at least one player. It sounds like maybe multiple players in the active roster. Sources familiar with the meeting said they would opt out if they came back.
Yeah.
Other teammates, the anger over their actions, being Clevinger and Plesac, was palpable enough to lead to the demotions. Ones that, if they last for a specific period of time, could have significant financial implications. We'll get to those in a minute.
Yeah.
But players are not happy about this. Not. And again, there was like you could tell there were a lot of botherness to what Jared's going to. I will actually say now from a broader perspective, I want to get back to this. I don't want to take it off this. I'm surprised there has not been more chatter about this in the Cleveland media circles. This is a huge story. And this is something that can really build something, tear down whatever you want to say. This was not a little thing that happened here. There's a lot of people on this team who really get along, who are not very happy with two individuals right now. And the Indians are very much stuck, and I'm going to go into why. Clevinger aside, you cannot keep trading away starting pitchers in baseball to be successful.
And we know that.
You have traded away Corey Kluber, Trevor Bauer. If you start trading away Clevinger and Plesac, the Indians are in the way they are set up. You will cost your team success really quickly and years next in 2021 and beyond, probably until 2023. If you start trading away guys like that and you get bad trades back. So the Indians are really stuck between a rock and a hard place. Now, let's talk about, that's why Plesac, even if this wasn't the case, and you have to do what's right for the team, which, by the way, they're going to do anyways. The Indians do the things the right way. If they trade Plesac and Clevinger, which they may do, and I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. If they do, though, the Indians are going to they're going to have a very hard time winning in 2021, 2022, 2023. It's going to get really low, in my opinion.
And Andy, and you and I both agree that the Indians, I don't think they're in a place where they have to do that right now.
No, they don't.
They are in a place where they should, in my mind, and it would probably benefit the team, especially the lineup, maybe an outfielder. Get rid of Clevinger, make that trade, period. Because you make the example of him, then you hope to God that Plesac recognizes that, and you're going to hopefully put another bat in that lineup.
Clevinger is the one. Plesac, I don't think is tradable.
No.
Even because of his youth, and again, forgetting the pitching thing, his youth and his actions say more to me than his words. That video was dumb. I'm going to leave that on the video. We'll get into it one more time, but that's the video, right? Okay, now, here's to the bigger story here with Clevinger. You have learned from what has happened in the past to Bauer. I can't believe I'm saying this. You're going down a road where you're going to have a Kansas City incident here if this continues with Clevinger right now. Now, maybe Clevinger has that come to Jesus moment I just said. Really wakes up and says, you know what? Hey, I'm going to take this on myself. I'm going to zen this out. You got me. I'm going to put my sunshine t-shirt on. I'm going to breathe in the oxygen. You can believe in me. I've got this and everything's going to be okay. Hunky dory, get on my back. I'm going to do a mustache like Oliver Perez and everything's going to be cool.
When has Clevinger ever given you the warm and fuzzy that he would do something like that? It's not who he is.
It's not who he is.
He is who he is.
No. Look, at the end of this year, now I'm going to go back to my two statements. The team needs to vote. And I know they voted already to demote both. I would not give this to Plesac, but for Clevinger. Do they want Clevinger back this year? Because if they don't, then the Indians need to make a trade right now. If the team is okay and they accept his apologies, I'm okay with him coming back this year. In 2021, ask me again, I'm going to probably say, and I got to see his actions. But more than likely, as of right now, I would say you probably need to trade Clevinger. It just continues any further.
Andy, what would make you think it wouldn't continue?
Well, Jared, I'm not going to go hypotheticals.
Do you know what I mean? Let's just do this hypothetical real quick. They don't trade either of them. The team is okay. They keep Clevinger. Are you telling me that you don't think there's going to be anything else the rest of the season? That's a tough one.
But again, Plesac is different. I'm gonna put it on Clevinger again.
Yes,
if Clevinger has one more,
not Plesac.
If the team says we can handle this, we got it. And Clevinger has one more, I would trade Clevinger immediately. Immediately.
Yeah.
He is out of chances. He is out of chances. And in fact, even if he does well the rest of the way, the Indians need to really reevaluate where does Clevinger go in 2021 and beyond. No matter what. Let's say they win the World Series, Clevinger's your MVP. Clevinger, I would still say he needs to come back and needs to really reevaluate, hey, where are we at with him? That's where we're at. And again, time will tell, but I am out of strikes from Clevinger. I'm out. I can't. Another incident. He's got.
I made enough jokes referencing the Browns last week. This is some Browns level shit. Some Browns level shit.
The only difference is the Indians win, and then they have Browns level shit.
That is.
But
you're right. They faced the adversity. They turned around and they had one hell of a weekend like they needed. You're right. Again.
We are very lucky Francona's the manager of this team.
You ain't kidding.
Eric Wedge, this would be a inferno. Some of the other guys that have come through over the years have been a big inferno. Francona, you could just tell, set the tone. His comments set the tone. And you just hope everyone in that locker room, and you can tell, you know what? It's not about that. It's about Clevinger and Plesac. And you know what, Jared? We haven't heard a peep from him since. I know Plesac was going to go on the Frog Show. And it ended up not happening today.
Yeah, whatever. I wonder if that was a legit invite or not.
I don't know.
It's so hard to tell with those guys.
It's impossible. But you know what? It's in a way, nothing against the Frogs. I think he does good content at times. Those guys, though, it would not have been good for Plesac to go on there. It'd be better for him to internalize this and keep going. I will say, I'm not saying this is like a parade. This is what he has to do. Clevinger has been very tight-lipped after that statement. And he needed to do that. And I am glad to see that. Read the Jeff Passan article. Frankie Lindor was very outspoken in the meeting, too. We said Alvaro Perez said he would leave the team if Clevinger and Plesac returned to Detroit. Says a lot about Alvaro Perez. Says a lot about him. Now, to the other part of this article, I thought
by the way, after 18 years or so in the league, has really done well to contribute on this team this season. So,
yes,
you listen to that guy.
He's been around.
He's got the salt and pepper to prove it. He's been there for a while. Yep.
He's been there. He's going on 40 years old next year. So, like, all that to be said, I thought the other thing that was really interesting from this whole breakdown is, what's going to happen to Clevinger and Plesac to themselves, meaning, like, we just talked about the trade possibilities. Well, I don't know how you could trade. I mean, this is the most impossible thing is to value the trade, right? So let's say they do have to trade Clevinger, and maybe they get crazy and have to drive. You have to, trade Plesac. You got to remember, now you're really looking at Logan Allen and Tristan McKenzie immediately. And that's going to really put things into fast motion. The problem with this, forgetting what is, everything you got to do in life, the Indians are not built to make trades like this time and time and time again. Bauer and Kluber, they did it, and they're both good trades. I've learned this. You cannot keep trading starting pitching. You can't. It will bite you. It will bite you hard. Like, really, like 20-game difference hard. You cannot keep trading starting pitching.
But we also
like
have to recognize that hands are being forced right now.
Oh, it's the Indians are in an impossible situation. So for people who are wondering why didn't the Indians just trade Clevinger and Plesac, you can't do that quickly. And again, even with, I still am sticking to my guns on this. The team should have a say in 2020 what happens to Clevinger. Now, after 2020 is a different story. But in this year, I really do think the team within the team is everything. Now, Passan does a great job, too, in this article. Really gets into the numbers and service days and all that. Not really as interesting to do on a podcast, but it does a great job of breaking, X number of days, 67 times, do the arithmetic, and you divide Pluto by Neptune, and you get this. But all the thing needs to be said is this. This is going to affect Clevinger and Plesac's arbitration. This is a big deal. This is not just winning in 2020. This is going beyond that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're getting paid they're getting paid. They're not getting paid their major league salaries on that, getting sent down either, because of the way that this agreement worked. Because they're being punished, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And they cannot come back until August 23rd. The Indians do have a date coming up this week on Saturday, the 22nd, where they have to make a decision here who's going to pitch. Now, who is that going to be at? I don't know.
Well, it's perfect timing, too, along with the trade deadline coming up as well, right? We've got like 2 weeks left, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's September 1st. And that's also coming up. Yeah, so it's coming up quick. But again, going to Francona's comments, what did he think about the Plesac video? I was disappointed. The hope is that we can put what's been going on kind of on the side to play a good game, Francona said on Friday night. Nobody, myself included, is going to stop thinking about those guys because we care about them. And we're going to continue to care about them. But we also can't use anything as an excuse not to play a good baseball game, end quote. That's from Francona. Francona is such a good person to have in this spot. I don't blame Jarid. I don't blame others. I would give Clevinger, if the team wants him back, get him back. Now, anything more happens, he's gone. But for right now, if the team can handle it, and the team thinks they can do it, you have the manager who can handle this. You have a guy who can do this. There's not a lot of guys in this sport, any sport, who can do it. Francona can. If Francona can manage this, do it.
Any other year, maybe. Okay.
I believe in Francona.
No, I believe in Francona. My belief has nothing to do with Tito.
I believe.
If it's my team, he gone. Clev gone, he gone. Plesac, you learn, you grow up, you keep your mouth shut. You go out there, you pitch your ass off, you do everything you can to mind your P's and Q's, to learn from those who have come before you, been playing in this league a lot longer, and you learn your lesson and you take your lumps. That's what I say about Plesac. Clev, bro, you ain't learning.
He's on thin
You're the
ice.
type of guy that seems to, there might be a door right next to you, but you want to bang your head off the wall over and over again and think you're going to get through. Sorry, bud. It ain't going to work that way. You got to make good choices in life. As my dog hacks and almost dies in the background. I don't know if you heard that. She's been weirdly sick the past 24 hours. I got no sleep. Another reason why I'm grouchy as hell. Anyway.
Well, again, all fair.
Shouldn't even be talking about this right now.
Now,
this shouldn't even be what is going on right now. This team is fighting their way up the ladder in second place.
That's right.
Trying to get their shit together, especially offensively. You had the best rotation in baseball, period.
20 in a row against the Tigers. 20 in a row.
And then you got this dumbass. How ridiculous, Andy.
But Plesac's been dragged through the mud, Jared. He's been dragged through the mud.
I've been stern, but I don't think I've been like a complete asshole.
And by the way, when I say Plesac, if you ever listen to this, I love you, but I've been dragged across the mud. That is pretty funny. Anyways, the media is really terrible, man. The media is really terrible, Plesac said in a 2.5-minute Instagram video. For people who have not seen this, they should watch it.
Look at this. I'm so mad my camera goes out of focus again, Andy. You know I love that shit too.
Yes. They do. It's the Vista things from Aldi's. They do some evil things. The camera's
that camera.
And there you go. The white balance, baby. They do some evil things to create stories and make things sound better, make things sound worse. Truthfully, I'm disgusted the way the media has handled the whole situation. Plesac said on my birthday, August 13th, and then we keep going down. Here's the one thing I want to mention about Plesac. It's funny. He went full circle in this video, and towards the end, he goes, "At the end of the day, I want everyone to be healthy. I want to be a good teammate. I want to win baseball games, man. That's all I want to do. Whatever it takes for me to get back on that diamond and start shoving it up people, trust me, I'll be ready when they need me," end quote.
Yeah, he just sounds like a dumb young kid that needs to learn.
That's my point. That last quote was like, we're full circle.
Because he even said he went after the media and then turned around and said Major League Baseball made the right decision, the great decision. It's like, come on, dude. Come on, man. Of course they did. You were a dumbass. Period. It's that simple. That's all it is. I've been a dumbass. I need to make this clear. I have been a dumbass in my life, especially through my 20s and even a little bit into my early 30s. I've been a dumbass.
I was a dumbass. I was dumbass yesterday.
You have to take responsibility for yourself, period. And everything else, keep your head down, shut the fuck up, and fix it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
That's right. That's right. Hail Francona. Bless us, our Lord of Francona, we give to our valley of sins, and forgive us and bring us sunshine into this life. Francona, amen. Now on Tuesday, Pleco, who was the pitcher on the mound, who came in, I thought his comments rang very loud on Tuesday. So I want to relive them one more time. It feels like this has been months ago, but it was only on Tuesday, only 6 days ago. Tuesday 11th, quote after the game when Pleco got banged around by the Cubs, they hurt us bad. They lied to us. They sat here in front of you guys and publicly said things that they didn't follow through on. It's going to be up to them. It really is. I'll let them sit here and tell you how they're going to earn their trust back. I don't need to put words in their mouths, the 28-year-old said, Pleco. Quote, the term that I continue to hear, and excuse my language, is grown-ass men, end quote. So one more quote from Pleco. So those grown-ass men can sit up here and tell you what happened and tell you guys what they're going to do to fix it. I don't need to do that for them, end quote. I give Pleco a lot of credit because I think those quotes is what that team played like on Tuesday and Wednesday. They played like dog shit. Because you know why? As Pleco said after the game, I won't give you the whole quote. It's been a year of distraction, and basically he said in so many words, this was something that they were just not prepared for. And they played like a team in a fog. Yes, the Cubs are very good. God, the lineup is annoying.
Kicking the balls.
But when you do something like that and you come home and it's hard.
It's a kick in the balls.
It is a big kick in the balls.
You feel betrayed. You feel betrayed in a time where you need to be able to trust the people that you are surrounded with. It's not right. Here we go. Let's do it, Andy. There's no I in team. Boy, if this ain't an example of that. There's an I in Clevinger, though.
There's an I in Clevinger. Not in Plesac, just in Clevinger. That's why we like Plesac. So I thought Lindor. You got to start laughing because you wait. We're going to analyze Nick Chubb's concussion here in a second. So here we go. But let's keep going. It's possible. It's possible concussion. Lindor, after the game on Tuesday, we have to sit out and look ourselves in the mirror. Mm-hmm. We are at a time right now with COVID, with racism, with everything. This is a time to be selfless, end quote. I don't think these quotes and other things Lindor said got enough press. He is doing a good job being the leader. Yes, he is. I was wondering, I talked about this in the last podcast. Lindor gets an A. He did a good job. I thought his comments rang true, and you can tell during the meeting with Passan's article that he was one of the guys that really stood up and talked. Do we want to read Sunshine's statement on Tuesday, August 11th? I'll let my partner decide. Oh, we'll read it. You know you want to hear it. Clevinger's statement.
Let me read it.
Yeah, go.
This is Clevinger on Tuesday, August 11th. There is an implicit trust that each of my teammates share as we navigate a season during this pandemic, and I broke that trust. In Chicago, I made the mistake of violating the protocols, but the biggest mistake of all was not immediately coming clean to my teammates. I owe them better. Well, no shit.
And Francona,
he went out over the center field fence too while you're at it. Or go walk around in the stands.
Francona, bless us. He's gonna save us. Bieber saved us on Saturday.
Maybe Bauer can help produce an apology video, like well-produced video for Clevinger. Maybe that's what they can do.
We should read Bauer's dating tips article later.
And this is the thing that I feel, maybe this is it. There's such a juxtaposition between some of the decisions that both Bauer and Clevinger have made, right? There are times where they do things that make you go, you know what? Good on them. And then they turn around and it's like they use that as their excuse to be fucking stupid. And I'm sorry, it doesn't work both ways. It doesn't. If you're stupid, you're stupid. And right now you're being stupid. And you can do all the good shit in the world. You can do all the right things in the world. But the moment you do something this dumb and that you lie, it's all out the window. Period. This is shit I teach my kids.
If Bauer and Clevinger want to get a coffee and pour some whiskey, I'm down. If they want to go and like hang out and shoot the shit, I would love to. To what Jared's saying, in business and on the baseball diamond, it's hard at times to work with guys like this because it always seems to wrap around stuff that's going around in their life. And that's what we're dealing with here. And for how much I want to give Clevinger a chance, and I would give the team that opportunity to vote for that. In fairness, Clevinger, even before this, what my partner alluded to, and we talked about this 2 or 3 podcasts ago, Clevinger was acting very cocky and very confident. There's a difference between arrogance and, I would call it like, I'm looking for the right word, swagger and cocky. He was cocky.
He was doing it on the mound even.
Cocky. He was
not
cocky.
Getting calls he doesn't like.
Hey, by the way, Soler popped you. Bang. Next pitch, Perez. Bang. Clevinger has got to start. And by the way, I love his t-shirts. I love his whole persona. However, that kind of stuff too on the mound is not going to win you games in October. It's not. The good news is the Indians love beating the shit out of the Motor City Kitties. And we have bounced back after that coma-like 2-game series against the Cubs. What a great Sunday, Saturday, and Friday. Let's relive. Let's now baptize ourselves in positivity.
We're not Detroit.
We are not Detroit.
We're not Detroit.
We're not Detroit. Real quickly too, Miggy Cabrera looks very old. Very, very old. I mean, at this point, we should just give him a cane, walking cane. Shouldn't he just have a walking cane? Like one of those, like, the Monopoly
guy.
Go
out at home?
Yeah.
Boy, did he look
awful. Breaking
awful, rounding third.
By the way, the guy at third base, I forget, Santiago, I think his name was, didn't even bother to put up the stop sign. He goes, he's not fucking there. He goes. He's going to go home. And he's out. I mean, his facial expressions, holy shit. Like, it didn't even cross his mind he was going to go.
When that happened, I'll be honest with you. When that happened, I was watching and not listening. I'll go back and forth. I'll listen to Tom for a while or whatever. Depends on what I'm doing during the day.
Sure.
I was watching, and all I thought of was, man, I would love to hear Tom with this right now. Because I don't know. I guarantee Tom Hamilton was probably making jokes or something regarding that play with him.
Happened.
You know it.
That happened yesterday on Sunday, the 16th, 8-5. The big story here, the whole series is Franmil Reyes, but the good news was Lindor. Lindor had a great game. He finally broke out of a slump. He looked really good. He had a crisp game. That's what we needed to see. I will also say, you saw it on Friday. It was confirmed to me. The starting center fielder for the Indians is DeShields. He needs to start playing every day. His bunting, I love bunting. Great bunt on Friday. Great bunt on Sunday. You know I love the bunt more than anything else in the world. I love it. Bink, bink, bink. It's great.
He just dead. That ball was dead.
Bink.
Dead. Just dropped, stopped.
When I was growing up as an 80s kid.
Such great placement.
I love Butler. Butler was this guy for the Indians. He would just bunt the ball all the time. Just bunt the ball all the time. He was so good at it. Kenny Lofton, out of nowhere, bunt the ball early in the game. I love that part of the game, and DeShields has that. He is your starting center fielder. And by the way, he had a great grab on Sunday. He had a great grab on Friday. Yeah. 2 great bunts, even hitting singles. He is your center fielder. That was the other thing. And then Franmil Reyes, who's now batting a healthy .316 with 5 home runs now in the season. Franmil Reyes hit one on the shrubs. He had 2 home runs. The Tigers, as my son pointed out, might have plunked him on purpose. Cameron Billman, some others thought so as well. There were some people wondering online about that. But the good news is, for people who didn't know, X-rays are negative. It looks like it's just a contusion. And even Franmil after the game says, Tuesday, we're going to be rocking again. Watch out, Pirates. I love Franmil Reyes' energy.
It was scary when it happened. It was scary when it happened.
It was.
He fell to the ground. But it was about 5 to 10 minutes after, when he was in the dugout, that you could tell he was going to be all right.
Yeah.
So thank God, because that was scary. And there was a real conversation about whether they were throwing at him because he had went yard twice.
Again,
I don't necessarily think that it didn't look that way.
I didn't think it was.
No.
But Cameron Billman did, and some other people did too.
I didn't feel like it was, but yeah.
I didn't feel like it was either. But it was amazing because I saw some other people and some of the reporters referencing it. They thought it might have been a little shaky. So,
well, you got to come in and you got to throw in and you got to try to get him to. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You're not going to make it easy on him after he's
again.
done
I didn't
twice.
think it was purposeful. I really didn't think it was purposeful.
No.
Couple other quick notes on this game for people who are ready to shit on Adam Plutko, and I saw that a lot. Just be reminded, this was a guy who's supposed to come out of your bullpen who out of nowhere became a starting pitcher again on Tuesday. Yeah. Do give this man a chance to breathe in the oxygen as a starter a little bit. Just give him a chance. I'm just saying. Yeah, like a couple more starts like this. Okay, we can start discussing Plutko. But 2 starts into just being pulled back an emotional week. Let's give Mr. Plutko a chance. Yeah. Just saying. I think we need to give him a little bit more chance.
And the bats picked him up. Thank God.
They needed a series like this. Now, Cam Hill, everybody knows I love Karinchak. Cam Hill's nasty too. Whitgren makes me a little nervous. He's a Boilermaker, so I love him, but he's a little nerve-wracking. But that's okay. He got through it. Maedon was great too that game. He had a good game. Now, my other little nitpicky thing that we'll get on Saturday's game, Domingo Santana's glove and his play on the field times. He hits a home run. His glove, Franmil Reyes is ready to play. I'd love to see Franmil out there a little more.
Oh, I mean, he lost all that weight for that reason, right? That was part of it.
Domingo Santana's glove is concerning. He's had a couple moments this year where the ball's just mysteriously passed him by.
Yeah,
happening again on Sunday. And just making a note of that. It's now been 2 or 3 times where I'm like, wow, the ball's behind him. Why? And happening again on Sunday. Bieber, you saw my video. For people who didn't, check it out on Facebook. Bieber saved us. He was great. Just a nasty. He's so fucking good. Then there's Brad Hand. So, not to give a repetitive sermon, why isn't Karinchak closing? I don't know.
You think I don't have an answer for that, Andy? It should have been after the first week. I thought and maybe it's because
this is now Joe Borowski, Jose Mesa, Wickman territory, where every 9th inning now is going to be a nervous pacing fit.
Oh, and we talked about this. I don't know why.
I don't want to fucking be a nervous.
Why aren't we? I mean, it's nice to have. Karinchak is great coming in that 7th and 8th inning. Getting 2 innings. Why not just bring him in the 8th and call it a day?
Let's just do it, please. They're not
going to.
Please.
They're not going to. They're not going to yet. They're not going.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, because
Brad Hand makes me get out the Tums. It's a little bad. Every time. I mean, even that save, it was cracking. I just remember getting up on Saturday night, 3 outs, saying, fucking God, game's over. Yeah. Good night.
Well,
anyways, and we talked about already the bunt again. I mean, just the Indians need to start bunting more, and they have been, and I'm happy about it. The Friday thing, again, Savali struggled a little bit, but he got through it. Reyes, again, had another home run. He was great. Domingo Santana, I just dogged him. He did have a home run that game. To me, the bigger story in that game within the game was Naquin. Naquin had a really strong game. And again, I already mentioned it. DeShields had such a great glove on Friday. He also had another hit in that game. Your center fielder is DeShields. What do you think, Jared Watson? I think your center fielder is DeShields. I think Naquin needs to be playing every day too. And I think Domingo Santana and Reyes should rotate. I think that's your outfield.
I mean, what are we doing with Zimmer?
Nice coming off the bench, but boy, that glove is not slick. He had another moment again on Saturday, I believe, where just a hiccup. Just not smooth. We should mention Mercado did get optioned down. Yeah. Now, again, I'm going to go on a little bit here of the Plutko thing. Mercado, it's not dead. You could see him later in 2021 even. I'm not saying he should never come back. Oscar Mercado, though, was not playing well. And I thought his glove was starting to show signs of what his bat was doing, if I'm being fair. He was not as crisp in the outfield as he was. And I think it wasn't just me. It was clearly other members, and including probably Francona.
Yeah.
You hate to shit on a guy. We loved him last year, but this was the right move. You had to do it.
No, it absolutely was the right move, because we're in this condensed season. You got to go with who's hot, and you got to roll with it.
Yes.
Which is again why the Brad Hand thing's still kind of weird.
Yeah. Before we move on to this week, was there anything from the Cubs series you'd like to relive? And how was it? I know it was was that a junky, funky 2 games?
No,
it was
awful.
Awful.
Was
God, what a kick
awful.
in the balls those 2 days were. That felt like that series lasted a month. By the way, that was like, oh my God, were those games painful? Non-competitive.
It made you wonder how the Indians could even win another game. I mean, it just looked.
A Friday team meeting cleaned that up. Clean that up quickly. Again, the Cubs are good. They're not that good. The Indians were just sleepwalking that series. Hit the snooze button. All right. To this week, the Buccos. Good news. Even though Leon was hitting, and I was glad to see that, Roberto Perez is needed, and he is coming back starting on Tuesday, and I think that is great news. It's not 100%, but with the move of Mercado, you have to think that move is done because they're bringing up Perez tomorrow night. Great move. Great to see. Buccos and Tigers, and then the next week is very big. Twinkies at home, and then they go to play the Redbirds after that. The up and down roller coaster that is the Indians. All that to be said, here they are, second place, comfortably in second for this kind of lead.
Only a game out.
Only a game out, and again, they have the Twinkies. And you know what? For any time in your schedule breaks, schedule makes, the Indians have had it both ways this year. Bring on the Buccos. What a great time to be playing a team that stinks. They stink. Great time to be playing them.
The only thing I wish they would have done was had to play that doubleheader, but that got canceled. Other than that, they would have been nice and worn out.
Yes. The Indians have only played 5 games in 8 days either. So the Indians have had plenty of days off, plenty of time to rest. This is good. And again, they own the Tigers. Real quickly on that too, and then we'll get to the Browns. I love the fact that we beat the shit out of them every game. I love it. Pour it on. It's fun.
Make it 30.
Oh yeah. Make it 30. That's right. That's the spirit. Should we relive Plesac's comments or should we move on to the Browns? Let's move on to the Browns. Let's one more.
I'm done.
You sure?
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm exhausted.
I'm
exhausted from the immaturity. I'm exhausted. I gotta.
Praise Francona. Believe in him. Now to your Cleveland.
Speaking of which, Robin on Facebook, the Church of Billman tonight.
Well done. Yes, I will.
Jimmy Visengardi on Periscope, Twitter. He and his beard bag. That's my brother.
Cleveland Browns.
Funny.
My brother has a better beard than me, I guess.
Yes.
We know that. Yes. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that too. Thanks for tuning in.
Pads Day in the Browns training camp world. So we came in, again, usually when Jared and I do these shows, we're usually all about the Browns and the Indians in the background. How it's flipped this year. And then the news over the weekend, J.C. Tretter, unexpected surgery. We'll get to that in a second. Myles Garrett's got a hammy, which always seems that there's always one of these. So to be fair, that's not new and things. Jarvis being held out, we kind of expected that. And then around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock today, I got something that really you hate hearing. Nick Chubb was hit by Mack Wilson. Head did not hit the ground, but it was snapped on a high tackle by Mack Wilson, and he is being evaluated for a possible concussion. Now, look, it is only the 17th of August. You have weeks before this game. Jared, this is the kind of news, though, that, you know what? What is the right word? We are now into the reality of the season. It has been a great offseason for the Browns, a lot of positivity. This is certainly not this is not the Eeyore scenario where the season's been determined by one day of practice. But, Jared, the reality of the season hit me today. We're now into it. You got some things. J.C. Tretter not being there, that would have been a big story for us anyways. You just hope for Nick Chubb he's okay. First and foremost, because you need him.
Oh, boy. What else can I say, Andy? That's really all it is. You just hope he's okay. And you hope it's not, anytime that there's a concussion, you always worry about concussions breeding concussions. Shit. I still get nervous for Ward. And you didn't see that coming at all.
No,
I would have never, if you'd have told me pick something bad to happen, I would have never picked this. It's a real bummer at the moment. It's something that, depending on, I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see. It's a wait and see scenario.
It is.
We're going to have to find out the results. We'll have to see how this all plays out. And I don't know. Anyone mad at Mac Wilson? I'm not. I think that,
by the way,
that kid is hungry.
no.
I feel bad for him.
Especially to a group on this team that's been torched by everyone, including ourselves, for the linebacker questions. But I mean, Mac Wilson making an aggressive play is.
Mac has been aggressive all offseason, wanting to get back on the field. I'm a believer in that kid just because he's so tenacious, and you can tell he loves being in Cleveland. He wants to be there, and he wants to play his ass off. That's always a good thing for us. So
yes, it is.
Let's hope that that Mac's not beating himself up too much over this. Lord knows Nick Chubb is. Oh man, you can almost call him the heart and soul of this year's offense. I know that we've got high hopes for Baker, and we know Baker's going to be that leader. But man, Nick Chubb he's that beating heart, I think.
He
just
is
quietly thumping away.
He is. Hopefully time will heal. Hopefully it's not as serious as what might be out there. And I think the other thing here too to keep in mind, this is opportunities. Kareem Hunt only did play 8 games last year. This gives a chance for Kareem Hunt to get into a little bit more of game shape, which he probably needs, if we're being honest. Yeah. All right, so that's the way you got to look at it. Hopefully everything's okay with Nick. Now, on Friday is when the news came out about Shredder. Boy, this came, the Browns, every year seems to be like, oh, did we tell you he went under a knee procedure? It's like, what? No. And it just like slips in there like someone being like, oh, by the way, I didn't want to write it down, but I just want to slip you this note. And you read it like JC Shredder had knee surgery. So look, I guess we didn't want to,
what?
I mean, it was like, oh, by the way, JC Shredder might have knee surgery, so you're gonna start 2 rookies on the offensive line. So
okay, bye.
Okay, take care. It's only left tackle and center. What could go wrong? Ba-dum-bum. So, all that to be said, this is, I will say, the challenges of the season now are coming to full closure. Because
we like the Nick Harris pick, right?
We do. Now, I listened to Nick Harris talk today. I will say, now it's just talk. But I've listened to a lot of these now. I love Nick Harris's. He's got this. Look, he basically came out and said, I'm confident in my abilities. I had a very familiar situation to happen in UW. And I am in the process of learning what happened to me at UW. I'm taking it. He said this, not in my words, his words. Minimize mistakes and just play through the fire. And he sounds like a guy who's confidently talking about it. We've seen enough of these guys where you get these kind of looks. Deer in the headlights, just wandering on like,
yep.
I'm just having fun. It's going so fast. Nick Harris did not talk like that.
No,
I do like that.
Those are veteran type words.
I liked it.
Minimize mistakes.
I like that. And again, Batonio.
Play through the fire.
I liked it. I like Batonio.
Yeah.
He even gave him some confidence, saying, "Hey, look, it's not as bad as you think." So that makes me feel. I will say. It says nothing. You got to watch until Sundays. And J.C. Treader might be playing by then. But this, for a guy who I didn't know much about, hear him talk in a press conference today, I'm like, all right. I mean, I actually feel a little bit better. I felt better. I will say I felt better after listening to him. And Batonio also gave some thoughts on Wills in his early practice. Batonio, it's tough on Wills. There's a learning curve. But luckily, we have a bunch of practices here. We still have a month before the first game. It's not a lot of time, but we're working against the clock. He is very detailed and organized. He knows what he wants out of his own line. He's been around it all, and that's one of the best things about him, end quote. He really talked about how he likes how he's shaping up early. He thinks he can do it. That's good to hear. You and I back in April talked about, I brought it up. The thing about Wills is not about that. He's a talented kid, all that stuff. There is no plan B to left tackle, okay? There's nothing. And now you already got an injury to J.C. Treader, okay? This is the thinness of this offensive line. It's the only thing. It's the only thing. And I don't want to put too much pressure on a rookie. There is a lot of... Forgetting Nick Harris, I think that will whatever. And there'll be pressure on him too, for sure. There is so much pressure on Wills. So much.
But nothing's changed in that regard. In that regard, nothing has changed. You're right. As expected.
A lot of pressure.
And there should be. So all you can do is hope that Stefanski, that they've got this under control.
You hope
That's
so.
all you can hope.
You hope so. The only thing I'm going to say again about this.
I don't know.
No.
Preseason. Got no preseason.
But Plan B is getting thin already. Is my point. So it's thin. It's getting thin. Trying to get thin already because you already have guards who are not playing and opting out. So you got. Anyways, let's not go down that road too far today. You take a chug of that drink. So now Stefanski about Treader, we will see. I'm going to make sure that I listen to the medical professionals, end quote. So there's no rush. JC Treader does not need practice time. I'm not saying he's that, but this is Joe Thomas type stuff. He's been in the league forever. He doesn't need a ton of practice time.
No.
And Nick Harris, actually after listening to him, I wouldn't mind seeing Nick Harris get some more reps anyways. I think that'd be good for him. So I think the situation is best where it is. I think still the bigger story here is Wills. I would not take that off. That is the lens on the left tackle. I know center, it's a Nick Harris, lower into draft pick, but I'm telling you, I still think the thing to watch is the Will story, which we'll have to read. We won't be able to see him. First day of practice, everyone, you could read Grossi, you could read Mary Kay, you could read Tom Withers. Everyone says defense leads the way. That usually is what happens. That's what happened here. BJ Goodson had a fumble, returned to a touchdown. Nathan Segura took us through this today. I watched his video. Tywan Taylor had a good catch in the backfield. Kareem Hunt. This is the kind of stuff that we always love talking about. OBJ played great on Sunday. Not so slick today. The nickel and dimes of practice. I don't know how much you want to do that. The one that I circled, though, another drop pass from Njoku in practice. That's my circling pen. For people who have never listened to me before, David Njoku makes me really, really, really nervous. Like Brad Hand in the 9th innings, Njoku going out for pass catches. Just gonna circle.
Is Njoku a father now too? Did you
I don't
have
know.
a baby?
I don't know. If he is, congrats.
Double check. Yeah, if you are, David, if you are, congrats and good luck with all that.
Yes. So OBJ took off on Sunday. I'm marking every Njoku pass, which is not fair, but again, it makes me nervous when he catches passes. So just saying, makes me nervous. I would not be surprised if Kareem Hunt starts taking more control of these practices, by the way, which he did towards the end of the practice today, it sounds like. So I would not be surprised about that. Here's the other thing that is going to become more of the storyline along with Will's, in my opinion, about the offense. Van Pelt did call plays in practice, but Stefanski still saying it will be announced later who is calling plays. If you read in between the lines, this is the first time I started reading this. I'm just making a guess. It definitely feels like we're going down the road of Van Pelt calling plays in games. That's definitely the road we're going down. You're definitely getting that vibe.
Well, I mean, these are probably play calls being made with guidance from Stefanski. Stefanski
Correct.
knows what he wants that offense to do, and he's making sure that Van Pelt calls those plays like he would want. That's the trickle down that I would assume that's going on, right?
I would have to assume the same thing. I just think it's been hard to decipher what's going to happen.
Right.
It's going down the road of Van Pelt. Now, it has not been announced.
It's just letting them develop that way and getting used to it, or
Correct.
testing it out. It could be a few different things.
But you read in between the lines of that answer, Van Pelt, it's going down the road of Van Pelt. And we'll just have to keep our eye on that. I mean, I don't know what that means yet. This is the hardest training camp to get a vibe on anything. So we got to read in all these tweets.
No, and you know what? That's a good thing in a sense.
It is.
I mean, part of it is because of the COVID issue and all of that. But the other part is Stefanski, look, he's very good at, he's not showing all his cards, but he's not doing it he doesn't try to answer every question. He's not, he's doing what he wants and he knows what he wants to do. And that's that at this juncture.
Yes.
I'm not in any position to make any judgment of it. I think this is going to be this way until they get on the field, and then you're going to have to see, well, did they get is this where they wanted to be? Do they have their shit together? We're not going to know until they get out there. We're not going to know.
It is going to be the biggest.
But I've never seen any sign yet. God, I hate saying it. Oh, I don't want to get sucked in. I will say today was a bit the breath of reality.
Not negative,
right?
but breath of reality.
Of course. Anytime as soon as you lose Nick Chubb, you got some injuries and some things,
JC Tretter's on start. He started reading some stuff. The other big thing I keep hearing from a lot of different people is very fast-paced practices. They are definitely trying to get a lot in a short period of time. I don't know how to read that, but it is what it is. I did find that to be an interesting note. Just take that and put that wherever you want to. Now, in a normal circumstance last year, the comments we would have next would be the headline. That tells you everything that's going on in the world of Cleveland right now. Mayfield earlier in the week, I think it was Wednesday of last week, came in and said, hey, I'm in much better state mentally, and if you listen to that press conference, he is taking notes from the Stefanski, Andrew Berry playbook. I took a jog because I want to make sure I heard that press conference. This is a different Baker Mayfield. This is a very different Baker Mayfield. This was his much better mental state. That's not bullshit. He's right. You can tell some of his quotes. I think that is one of those things that I talk about within our team is you have to find that belief. You have to find that confidence within yourself. Is this Baker Mayfield? Unbelievable. I love it.
I think a lot of that comes from the fact that he can focus now on what he needs to do, his role as the quarterback on that field. Not trying to do everything because he's got a head coach with his head up his ass. Right?
I'm telling you, for everything I just mentioned, this should not get buried. The more and more and more I read into this, I'm feeling very good about 6. I'm really feeling good about 6.
Yep. Same.
I really am. Like, for everything we just talked about above, I will say I'm feeling good about 6. I thought these comments were very, very good. And going back into last year, I wouldn't say it was a poor me type situation, Mayfield said. Going and having success all through high school and college and having that standard so high, and then the past couple years have been a roller coaster of emotions and not nearly as much success as I'm used to. I would say I lost myself not having that success, not finding out what was working. This just sounds like such a different Baker Mayfield. I really like it. Yeah. Landry about Mayfield. His ad towards this season is at a heightened level. Petonio, he says, hey, 6 is showing up in shape was a great sign that he's grown from the experience. These are much different things from last year. This is a good start. It means nothing in wins and losses, but I like the start for Baker Mayfield. And again, people can break down in the passes and stuff. Nathan Zagura did a good job on his 2-minute drill on the clevelandbrowns.com. You can check it out. I will say, though, from reading comments and stuff, am I overreading this? I thought that was a very positive start to that preseason camp for 6. I really did. Liked it.
It's as good as you would hope for.
Yeah, I don't want to put too much icing on the positive cake, but it was good. No,
that's it. It doesn't require anything else. It's as good as you can hope for. Now get out there and win some football games. That's it.
Yes.
I'm gonna beat that dead horse. I mean, that's all. I mean, Andy, we can talk about it all. We can talk about everything that we think Stefanski's doing. We can talk about everything we hope that some of these rookies can come in and fill in and pick up where the JC Tretters of the world are having to step down for a little bit. We can talk about their attitudes. We can talk about the way that they're coming together in their Zoom calls and how they're all on the same page. We can talk about it ad nauseum. We can talk about it all fucking day. Get on the field and win some football games. That's where I'm at. Get on the field and win some football games.
Yes, but this was needed in this organization. They needed to do this, and this was good. Good.
When I look forward, let me put it this way, because I sound like I'm brushing it aside. It is important, right?
Yeah.
But it will feel really good if they can go out there and win, and then you can kind of look back in hindsight.
I agree.
They were on the right track.
I agree. Well, people need to remember, first 2 years for this Mayfield guy has been this. Hard Knocks. The Hugh Jackson era, remember that? Remember him? He only won 3 games in 3 seasons. Oh, it's unfucking he's our coach. Anyways. Then midway through, it became the Greg Williams experience. Changes everything. Then becomes Freddie Kitchens. And then this. It's been again.
All the while dealing with people making horrible, stupid comparisons to Johnny Manziel.
Again, like Mr. Plutko, give this a chance. Let's give 6 a chance. That's all I'm saying. I thought the Haslams had a very good press conference too. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke. I really did. That was a different D and Jimmy. I won't go into any quotes because of time, but I think the bigger thing here is that I thought that came off different. I thought they came off really well. They came off very thoughtful in their comments. I just thought they came off great. And I usually, we've been like more iffy, him and Haas. I just liked what they had to say. D Haslam, we really miss our fans at training camp. You know, Jimmy talking about it's not so much what the kneeling or who kneels, it's what that means, what they're going to do about it. I mean, these are great things. I just thought the Haslams, they get a bad rap. And at times they've earned it, I know. I will say in 2020, in August, they seem like different people.
I've always wanted to like them more because they have always seemed like they were good people.
I agree.
You know? And so that's why I think it would become so frustrating over the years because you just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And maybe this is it for them. Oh,
yep.
God, I hate even saying it. See, I'm already jinxing it. I don't want to talk about it anymore, Andy.
Jump into the pool.
I don't want to talk about the Browns until... No, I'm not doing it.
Let's baptize ourselves in PR. Let's baptize ourselves in PR. We love a good PR in the summer.
All due respect, that's Nathan Zagura's job.
Well, remember this time last year?
It is. It's his job. It's not
well,
mine.
by the way, should we wind it back? Do you remember what we were talking about last year? Fighting with the Colts. Boy, what a full year this has come for this organization.
And we thought that might be a good thing a little bit, right?
Oh, no.
They're scrappy. They're a scrappy bunch, Andy.
That was fucking dumb what we said, but that's okay. That is okay.
I mean, I am wearing the Pittsburgh Started It shirt right now, so I'll,
pounding my head on a microphone.
But it's Pittsburgh's a different story. So.
The last 2 things I'll say about the Haslams, they're putting it into the hands of Governor DeWine on what to do with the fans. I think that is the right call. I do. I don't know how. Want to even go any further now. I don't want to make it political. I just think that's the right thing to do. And I thought Jimmy Haslam's closing statement was very kind and loving. The owner said, I guess he's been very affected by this, as we all have by COVID-19. He asked everyone, please wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance. If we all do that, we have a chance to have a season, end quote. Jimmy Haslam. Really, really good stuff. Loved it. I thought they came off so great in that presser. Last little note, which was sad. I remember Chip Banks a lot as a player. He was a very good player in the mid-'80s for the Browns. Rookie of the year in 82, for people who forget. It was named before Pro Bowls, what being with the Browns. He was shot in Atlanta over the weekend, and he's in critical condition right now. And hopefully he's doing okay. And in the hospital, I've not seen any more news, but I just wanted to mention that. Because Chip my dad really enjoyed Chip, really thought highly of him. He was a great, great player. Remember him, and you hate to hear something like that, but anyways, just want to say, positive juju, thoughts and prayers, whatever everybody does, the Chip Banks. Hate to hear that. Again, I remember Chip, never getting his card and thinking how I just really enjoyed him playing on the field. And again, everybody in the 80s, we all remember all these guys. Chip was another player, and he was very, very talented, very good. Rookie of the year. 4-time Pro Bowler with the Browns. Very solid player for the Browns. Anyways, hate to hear that story. Yeah. Wanted to throw that in there real quick. More practices with pads for the Browns. Obviously, there's no preseason games, so nothing to break down there. And, we'll keep you updated. We will go into now, because Plesac and Clevinger is taking over everything. Next week, we'll do offense on Monday, and we'll relive some more of what happened in 2019 and have some more White Claws or Vesta Bay. Or whatever.
Vista Bay. It's not bad. It's not truly, thank goodness. So
that's good.
Neither, and by the way, nobody sponsors us on any of this, so I'm just giving.
We will take any sponsor, anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Throw us a couple bucks.
Anything.
I'll hawk whatever you want.
Bowling balls to
and if
Dollar.
It's Truly, oh yeah, I love Truly.
But Dollar Tree, we're all here. We're here for the people. We're here for the people. Wise potato chips, I love them all. All right, we're not picky. Let's wrap it up with what's going on. Okay, quickly, we'll end on college football. Quickly, I love the NBA today. The first game was great, Jazz and Nuggets. The Raptors was a blowout. I know the Sixers and Celtics are playing right now. Look, it's no Cavs. We all get that. I will say the play in this bubble has been a lot better and more competitive than what I thought. It's been I have enjoyed it. I'm actually watching these games. I'll be into Dallas and the LA later tonight. I am very much into what the Lakers do, even though I've never been a Lakers fan, never have. I do want LeBron to do well, so I'll be watching that. And, I'm into this more than what I thought. The Rockets are an interesting story, too, as I've been watching them play a lot lately. Anyways, I know the NBA doesn't get as much pub on the show. I have been watching it, and I thought it's been very good. Just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, and I feel like a complete jerk because I haven't watched any of it, but I watch all the highlights. Every time I scroll through my Instagram feed, it's full of ESPN and Bleacher Report plays, right? And, top plays, whatever it may be, coming out of this NBA bubble right now. And basketball looks like it's like they're having a lot of fun. It's competitive, and there's some attitudes. Good. There are some real well, I don't want to. Not necessarily egos, but a lot of folks that are pressing harder, in a way that you can just tell that they really do give a shit about this now. That they're not just going through the motions. It's not like watching an all-star game. I thought maybe the NBA might kind of be like that during this time when they have no fans, when you really don't know what you're playing for. And I don't know, for some reason, I thought the NBA might kind of be a wash and nothing really that great to watch. It's been the opposite from everything I've heard. Now, again, admittedly, I just haven't been one of those guys watching it. And I've been glued to every Indians game. And I think that maybe that's it. My wife knows that I watch the Indians games, and that's it. If I tried to watch the NBA too, I'd probably get yelled at.
Let me throw in two more. Let me throw in two more things before that. Have you watched? And I'm embarrassed to say this. I've not watched a second of hockey. Have you? Not a second.
No, not in like the past 30 years, Andy.
I feel bad. I know it's been good. I've been told I
had my hands on the Stanley Cup.
Hey, by the way, hope the Blue Jays, they played today. Did they win? Let's make a guess.
Maybe.
Make a guess. No, they
Golden would know. I think he watches.
No. They played. No, that's not the guess. Did they win?
I don't know. Well, is it playoffs right now? Is this playoff hockey right now?
Yes. They're playing Tampa Bay.
Hell if I know.
Not the Devil Rays, the Lightning.
The Lightning. Sport. Right. Well.
That was a joke, folks. That was a joke. I know they play the Lightning. Anyways, we'll find out later. The other one I want to mention is I want to say congratulations to a guy that doesn't get enough pub on the show either, Stipe. I thought that was awesome what happened on Saturday. I will embarrassingly admit I am not a UFC guy. I'm just not, but I am not naive. He means a lot to Northeast Ohio. He means a lot to Cleveland. He is a great Clevelander. I am very happy he won.
Yeah, that's the first story. That's actually the first Stipe match I think I watched live, to be honest with you. Cool. I've watched highlights. I've watched some past events, but they've all been recorded. But I was at with a buddy and watched it live and cheered my ass off and really, how do you not love Stipe? How do you not love him? The guy's a badass. He gives back to the community. Obviously, he's a first responder. You just can't. You can't not love a guy like that. He's every one of us in Northeast Ohio, and that's just fine by me. I grew up loving Boom Boom Mancini. I grew up right. Yeah. I was buddies with Kelly Pavlik, and so in the boxing days, this area's got a lot of good boxers. And
yes, it does. It does.
And to have Stipe Miocic kicking ass in the octagon. That's just another example of what we've got to offer in this Northeast Ohio area. So hats off to Stipe and still. So he's a
heavyweight champion. Again, he means a lot to Cleveland. I am not naive. He means a lot, and he's a good man. Gives a lot back to the community.
Yeah, and this goes all the way back to 2016 before the Cavs won their championship.
Yes, he did. Yes, absolutely. I was there in the parade, and he was one of the bigger, and he deserved everything. But Blue Jackets did lose to the Lightning. They have to win 3 in a row now. They're down 3-1.
Okay.
Might watch Wednesday if I remember. But
thanks.
I know. I feel so bad. Do you want to talk about the SEC schedule announcement? No? Yes?
We are brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, Original Cleveland Sports Reporting
Bama,
at
Georgia, October
waitingfornextyear.com. Let's talk about the Tar Heels. Let's talk about Chapel Hill and how's school going on down there. No, they're not. They had to cancel already? So undergrad's all online now. Weird. Oh, the student paper, the Tar Heel paper, called it a clusterfuck in their headline. Oh, weird. Right there in their headline. Weird. No, I don't want to talk about it. At CLE and Beyond is us on Twitter. At CLE and Beyond.
These matchups are good.
At Andy and Jarid at gmail.com. So that'll tell
Arkansas,
you how
Alabama.
I'll tell you how I think the SEC is going to go. Andy and Jarid at gmail.com. JARID. And follow us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Cleveland and Beyond. Andy.
Yeah, and North Carolina, the ACC too. So the ACC.
ACC, right. ACC is also going to be a mess, correct? They're still on, aren't they? ACC still on?
They're all playing. Big 12, ACC, SEC.
Okay, have fun.
What to wrap up? What do you feel about Justin Fields doing a petition to try to play?
He's a young kid, and he believes in something, and he's pushing for it. I don't think it's the right move. I think he's incorrect, and I think that the Big Ten made the right decision. Both can be true. I can not agree with Justin Fields and still understand where he's coming from. I will believe it or not. In this day and age, in this polarized environment, I can look at a kid like Justin Fields and completely understand and empathize with him on why he wants to get out there and play, and understand all of that. But no, I think the Big Ten made the right call, and that is what it is. So
my final three thoughts. I'll start with Fields. The passion for college football is deeper. I've said this before. I will tell you it's deep. And for people who go, oh, college football will take a ding from this, it won't. College football will be just as strong in 2021 and 2022. I'm telling you. It'll be just as strong, if not stronger.
What is it? Is it the Feinbaums of the world that think that college football is never going to be the same? Somebody was talking about that. Somebody said college football is never going to be the same, and I don't remember who it was.
Wrong. In fact,
maybe it was Greeny. I don't remember. Now I'm just giving wrong attributions here.
Throwing out things. But I will say this too. College basketball, and I was glad to hear this. They're getting ahead of the bubble. Seeing the NBA, that would be good for the sport of college basketball, and they should do that. They should do that.
Yeah, I think they can pull that off.
I think that would be. I think
they can pull it off easier than football can.
Absolutely, and they should be all over that. I'd be so into that. That'd be a very Indianapolis play all those Big Ten games. That'd be cool. I'd be so into that. Anyways, that'd be a good idea for those guys. Give Plutko a chance, real quick. I just want to throw one more bone to him. This guy's been through a lot this week.
We are safe.
Give Plutko a chance. And just remember, people. That was bad. Just remember, everybody. Believe in Francona. He is our leader. He is our savior. And I will sing more hymns throughout the week on Facebook video posts. But just remember, we have a great manager who can do great things. And he is handling the situation, and we should be so lucky. I mean, he is a fantastic man. Really is.
He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson. Andy and Jared, Cleveland and Beyond. Trey Clevinger. Talk again soon.